Welcome to the City of Miramar's Business Connect, where we connect your business to what's important. I am Johnny Douglas, your host, and today our topic for discussion will be to take a good look and a closer look at the City of Miramar. And not only that, but recognize that the City of Miramar has now been recognized and awarded the 2021 All American City. This is something that the City of Miramar and the community is so proud of. And right now we have our guest with us today that will help us go into depth about what it takes for a city to make that prestigious honor is our assistant city manager, Mr. Kelvin Baker. Welcome, sir. How are you doing today?
Good day, Mr. Douglas. Thank you so much for having me today, and we look forward to sharing further with you in this topic of discussion.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get right into it because I'm so excited to be a part of the City of Miramar partnerships with community and their partnerships with the business community as well. I've never been more proud to work for an organization than I have been with the City of Miramar. There's a lot that goes on in the City of Miramar that mirrored already what the All-American panelists were looking for. We were already on the road to being an All-American city within our own rights. Am I correct with that, Mr. Baker?
You got it.
So I'd like to ask, what are some of those things? But let me start off by this. Let me ask, what were some of the things that are the attributes that the panelists were looking for to recognize a city being an All-American?
Well, I would start off by saying, and I'm just going to back up just a little bit here with respect to time. I've been eyeing the All-American City Award for several years, and again, I've had the privilege to work in several other governmental agencies, and so roughly a couple of years ago, I shared with the city manager the whole concept of being an all-American city and what it could do for us as a city in terms of gaining a national platform to be able to tell the entire country who we are. There's another Miramar, I think, is located somewhere in California. So the question is, what separates us from the rest of the cities all across the country? And so what the All-American City Award does, it provides us with an opportunity to showcase ourselves, comparing ourselves with cities all across the country. So what the judges do is that when you finally is selected, because it's a very rigorous process. There are hundreds of cities that seek this most covetous award. So you compete, and then it's narrowed down to like the top 20, and then the top 20 is somewhat narrowed down to the top 10. So what the judges do, they look at how you how you look in comparison to the other cities. This particular year, the focus was on building an equitable and resilient economics through business, through the whole business process. So fortunately, with all of the activities that we had activated, even during COVID, we were able to showcase many of those attributes with feeding the community, with helping the community with various types of government assistance, with many of our virtual platforms being activated so that we could continue to communicate with our community, our community policing and things along those lines that I think when the judges looked at us in comparison to everyone else, he stood out like a sore thumb. And so that's what they seek to do. They seek to find cities that are raising the bar and doing it better than others. And so we had that opportunity to present and put the city on showcase on a national scale, and allowed us to prepare and be compared to others. In government, there's this concept we call benchmarking.
Mm.
And the way the benchmarking work is that you compare yourself with other cities, and when you're able to benchmark, you can see what they're doing versus what you're doing, and it could give you some information where you need to step your game up and do better because there's a city down the street, a city across the country is doing something much greater than you. So this All American City award, it benchmarks you with others and others across the country, not just locally. And so that's what they generally look at. And again, our goal was when we entered this contest that we were not just entering the contest just to be able to raise our hand and say we entered. We entered this contest. We made it very clear from the beginning, and Mr. Kelvin Lewis was very instrumental at working with the committees and guiding this effort. But we entered this whole thing with on the onset. We were in it to win it. That was one of our internal slogans. we were not there to waste time, but we were ready to show to the country that we are indeed an all-American city, a first-class city that's very passionate about bringing forth our A game for our community and for our businesses. If there are opportunities, if there are funding, if there's other initiatives out there that we can get our arms around, we want to grab them and make them available to our community. So I think our presentation made that very, very clear, and that we were successful at checking all of the boxes. Just recently, the president for the league personally came down, actually this past Wednesday evening, to personally present us with this prestigious award.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. I appreciate that because it was a prestigious award, and I love the fact that the city of Miramar measured up as comparisons to other cities, and that benchmark was set. I guess now we've raised the benchmark right now. So, letter to say, this whole process was about what were the main challenges that were facing each of those cities that entered into the All American award. I know one of the challenges that the city of Miramar faced, which is like all the other municipalities, was the COVID-19 pandemic and how it ravaged through most communities and especially the business community. What I saw was the resilience of the city of Miramar to come back and to meet those challenges head on, to make sure that everyone was able to be not only to survive but to still thrive in the midst of those COVID-19. So how did that look when you presented that to the All American City?
Well, I think it stood out. When COVID came to town, so to speak, um, uh, the state of Florida was quickly went into a lockdown mode, and folks weren't moving, folks weren't doing anything. But the issue was that there are still needs out there. Individuals still had to eat. They still had to have some type of recreation activities or whatever. So we as the city had to decide, well, um, we can't just sit back and do nothing. So one of the first things that we rolled out was a food distribution program. And the food distribution program, what I find very significant about the city's program is that we became one of the largest distribution sites in the entire county. Uh, Individuals were coming from near and afar to get food. It was not limited to city residents, but it was made available to all of South Florida. We had people in the line that would come all the way from Homestead to West Palm Beach, and we were quite amazed that individuals would travel that far. But the biggest point I think is necessary to note is that our city was unselfish and made our facilities and programs available to all of South Florida. But I think that was a major game changer. You know, some weeks we fed over 3,000 household minimum, over 3,000 households, and so that was significant. But then we entered into our some of our virtual programs to provide the youth with some recreation activities that they could participate in via the web, as well as some interaction with our senior population, being able to assist them and provide them with COVID friendly services as well. Drive-by food markets. We were able to do some drive-by entertainment, and again, it was really going outside of the normal from the normal government box that we operate in, going outside of that box and reaching out to the people. Why South Florida was at a shutdown, we were able to see some great successes, how government was able to still function and provide much needed services to our community.
Awesome, awesome. And also, the city of Miramar has not even lacked when it came to the actual business community as well. When you had the grant program that was issued out as well to help those businesses when they were pay their rent and utilities through the process of being shut down. That was an awesome program as well. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Um, Also, so now that once you have all of these um, programs and resources and works, how does the city of Miramar measure the community's success? How do we measure that?
Well, I think that you know one way of measuring it is as I mentioned earlier on, you benchmark, you benchmark yourself with others, and when you learn that there are some programs out there that's provided in other areas, that would be beneficial to us. You're able to make adjustments to bring those programs. But to me, a great way of measuring is looking what others are doing and to really be very confident that you're already doing these programs and doing it to the greatest our greatest capabilities that we can. Um, some of the ways that I like to look at successes is that usually when you're doing something great, individuals begin to talk about it, and word of mouth is still, in my opinion, one of the best marketing pieces you can do. And now with social media running so rampant, there's so many different social media platforms that individuals are able to, kind of get out there and say, yes, I was in the city of Miramar, went by their community garden, and was able to pick up some fresh vegetables. So, things like that, it gets out, and then we have other cities calling saying, hey, we heard that you have a community garden. And how did you start the community garden? And then there you go, you're able to share other information. So those are just a few ways that we are able to track our successes, just based on the feedback that we receive from the community, as well as the interest that we get from other cities.
Awesome, awesome. I'm always out in the field working with the business community through the City of Miramar. And one of the things I hear a lot from business owners is that this is a great place to have a business. I have gone to businesses in the city of Pembroke Pines, actually in the city of Weston and Davie. And most of them are saying, how can I move to the city of Miramar to start my business there? So Miramar has a lot of what's going on. And I love the slogan that the city of Miramar has. It's here. It's right here in Miramar because it truly is. One of the things that I love when I go out to see these businesses and also to meet the community is the community and is that the municipality involvement in the community. What you were saying with the food, with the feeding that we've done that with that. Also, I like the fact that the city of Miramar is transparent. The business owners in the community feel that they have a voice. And one of those voices that they have is through communication that the city of Miramar offers. What are some of those communication avenues that the city involved with the community that they can have a conversation with them?
Well, I think that we have several social media platforms where we utilize these platforms for communicating of services that are available, events and programs that are available in our city, and we continue to encourage the business community to be involved and to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So when we put together new programs, additional programs to what folks are already aware of, that's usually one of the first places that we go. One of the
Right.
few things about our information age now, that everything now is really being directed to the smartphones. All billions of dollars are being spent developing platforms and applications to get the message out to individuals through these smartphone devices, and so our city has invested in it as well, and it has given us an opportunity to provide communication, provide education, again through workshops and things of that nature, to alert the community of new grants programs that's been made available, and we can pretty much do all of these things rather quickly, opposed to using the traditional email or snail mail routes to communicate with folks. That we are able to within minutes to do a Facebook Live, do a YouTube, and broadcast it out to the community as a whole. And those are some of the things that we've taken advantage of and have experienced great success in informing the community and marketing our services. And they are also interactive, so the ability to communicate back to us is also great.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Also, I want to go back to what I said before, another question. When I mentioned that businesses would love to move to the city of Miramar, what are some of the advantages of a city moving to the city, or of a business moving to the city of Miramar? And
Well, I think we boast of having more Fortune 500 companies than any city, at least in the state of Florida. And again, it depends on the type of business that seeks to come into the city. to be able to blend in with some of these Fortune 500 companies. But another aspect of it, we have perhaps more small businesses in our city than the average city as well. But to me, one of the most attractive features is that you will come here and you will have a voice, and you will discover real quickly that our city is very passionate about supporting our small businesses and providing uh, business assistance, grants, and being there for business and opportunities to provide free educational seminars and opportunities to help out businesses to improve and develop new platforms and business venture opportunities. And you will not find that in most cities. We're truly a city that you can truly live, you can work, and you can play. Always have to leave some room for the latter. Everybody need to play. Everybody need an opportunity to let their hair down, so to speak. If you
Right.
still have hair, let their hair down, so to speak, and go to a park and play, or
Yes.
go to a concert. But again, we're a beautiful city that has a mixture of a race of people, and we have a very productive business economy.
Yes.
Again, but we love businesses, all of them, but we do pay a lot of attention to our small mom and pops to ensure that they are able to grow and continue to be vibrant, even in the market that we're in now.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker, we have Kelvin on the line here with us as well. I mean, we have Kelvin Lewis on the line here with us as well. How are you, Mr. Lewis?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Mr. Johnny Douglas.
Now, Mr. Lewis, you headed up and oversaw the project for the All American City. Am I correct?
Yes, I did. Thank you for having me on this podcast. I am, it was what I considered one of my babies, the All America City project, because it was literally between 8 to 9 months, and it gave birth, so to speak, on June when we won the All America City Award. So the project took literally almost 9 months. And it was a journey, and one that gave a good bit of experience, exposure to the city and to myself, with the business community, and to see how, in order to win this award, how you had to involve so many different segments of the community. We're talking about the business community, the elderly community, in areas where the community gardening, where they're involved, and the nonprofit organizations, and I could go on and on. And those were different parts of the community that were able to help us collaborate in bringing the life to the story of the Miramar for the All American City Award. So it was a very rewarding experience. I believe the community engaged well. And we had, like I said, the elderly community and the business community, multiple businesses. And basically, they were just excited and to show how involved they are in the community and appreciate the city for their inclusivity and creating a leverage for them to thrive in the city of Miramar. So this was a wonderful experience, like I said, and the community enjoyed it. And we were able to present that obviously on a platform by virtual, as many other cities had done so. And the National Civic League really were impressed with what we have done. First with the application, and then bringing to life, bringing the community and doing an actual virtual expression of how the community comes together and express what was displayed on the application. Mr. Baker also mentioned the National Civic League president presented us with the award, and he was so pleased and so happy. And I met the gentleman before he presented the award to us, and he was so impressed with what's going on in the city of Miramar, and thought that Miramar was just a beacon of light for many other cities to follow.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. And I have to say, I'm absolutely biased on that as well. It is a city that had set the benchmark so high. I don't know if we can do it again, can we?
I